welcome back. And as usual, or as you know, I'm talking to CNN Multi-Choice African Journalist 2013 Television News Bulletin Award, Gifty Ando Apia, Joy News TV, Ghana, on the 12th of October 2013 in South Africa. We haven't even gotten here yet, but we're going to go to JIJ. What you study at JIJ, is that what the real world is, or is it different?
What I studied at GIJ, it's a combination of both. A bit of real world and a bit of pure theory.
Theoretical.
But you have to balance it, and that's why it's good when you get these opportunities to do internships and national service. And people are running away from national service, and I think it's a very good way to start. Because it gives you an idea. You're just off school. It gives you an idea what really happens in the real world afterwards. So at GIJ they try to. That's why it's a specialized school. So they try to make it very relevant to what you're going to meet
out there. Okay.
So yeah, there's a bit of. I like the theory aspect though, because it helps you to analyze. That's what it's meant to be. You do all the mass communication and broadcast journalism and blah 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 blah. Those are there to help you analyze, look at society, and make some analysis based on your own what's it called?
Style, ability.
Yes, use your own use your own senses to analyze what you see.
Okay.
From because usually what's written in the books, people sat down, analyzed society, and they put it down. So you take it and try to analyze, and that is where you scan through society, and then you come out with story ideas. Which stories should we highlight? Because really our role as journalists is to highlight the issues that matter to the people, for the people in authority to see them, if they've forgotten, to remind them to work at them.
At the time, what did you want to do? Like journalist on agri, social, medical, health, politics? What sort of what did you want to specialize?
I didn't have a particular choice then. I just wanted to know so much about. I wanted to be a journalist, so I'm here. Okay, so teach me to be a journalist. That was more like the attitude I went into school with. But then I think I found some interest in politics.
Okay.
Yes. Back in school, I stood for elections as a.
I don't know why I'm laughing, even though you haven't ended. But finish.
Yeah, I went in for the position, the local NUC secretary, we called it.
Okay.
So you represent your school in any NUC congress or any NUC meeting at all. So the local NUC secretary, I went in with this lady. The lady had cash, So the campaign time, she was spreading her wings all over campus and all. And I can remember I had about 30 CDs, today 30 CDs, which was 300,000 then. And you should have seen my posters. You should have seen my posters.
A4 sheets.
It was, the picture I used for my poster was a picture we took during our photojournalism class.
Okay.
We went to the trade fair and I took a photo, that's what I used. And A4, yes, A4 indeed. And I just written ready and willing to serve. and it was genuine. It was really genuine because I was ready and willing to serve.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but anyway, I'm listening.
So yes, I went in, stood for that election, I won.
Oh, you won?
Yes.
With 30 CDs.
God can do a lot of things with seemingly.
What was your theme? Ready and willing to serve. Because anytime I stand for election, that's going to be my motto.
Ready and willing to serve, yes. And then I had my name there. The picture wasn't even funny, but well, it went through, and thankfully I won. So I represented the school then, and that was when I disliked politics. From school, from local NUC secretary, I went on to become the national coordinating secretary for Ghana Union of Professional Students, which was a block under NUC. And when we meet, it's so fun. It's so fun. You meet all these people from the University of Ghana. You meet these vandals. You've heard so much about them. Now you meet them, you interact with them. You meet these people coming from all KNUST, from all the universities in Ghana. You meet them and it's such fun. But then when it comes to the game of politics, I mean, and rightfully so, the game, the way people play it gets
dirty, isn't it?
Yes, it gets at me sometimes, and it's sad. I find it sad. You find a lot of dishonesty. You find a lot of backbiting. You know, people getting at each other, doing all kinds of things to get into position, even at the student level. So
Not necessarily ready and willing to serve. Just to get there.
I was ready and willing.
No, I'm talking about you, but I'm talking about the.
Well, yes. So I looked at. I mean, it was such a complicated twist for me, and I still have that feeling. You know, I look at. I want to. You know, you want to be a part of a bigger group who are, you know, pushing for something.
Make it change, a positive change.
But then again, sometimes I saw it at the news level. I saw it as a game. People played it in a way that I found very distasteful. So I couldn't move on with it. A lot of people thought I was going to go, because from your school level, you go to the block level, and then you go to the national level. That's how it works.
Okay.
So I was at the block level, and people were thinking that I'll probably move on to NUPS and be the women's organizer or something, the women's commissioner or something, but I couldn't go. So that was how my life, so, you know, the other side.
But GIJ was fun then, with all these A4 posters with old photos.
Yeah, I was a CCF. I'm sure a lot of CCF people voted for me. A lot of CCF, Campus Christian Family, we called it.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm sure a lot of them voted for me because I was one of the organizers. Yes.
I see.
Yeah. I'm a very religious person.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good.
It is. It's the only thing, I think it's one of the things. It's the only thing. It's the only thing.
Keeping you going.
That kept me going. Because it's not been easy. It's not been an easy path for me at all. It's not been an easy path.
Okay, I was going to come and do family, but I'm sure people are sitting there looking at this beautiful thing and they are shaking and thinking, is he not going to talk about it? So I'll talk about it and then I'll come back and do family. I'm sure Famous will give me time. Now, how does it happen? Well, you open the letterbox one day and there's a letter in there to say, come to South Africa. How did it happen?
You know, sometimes last year, I used to spend a lot of my nights in the newsroom, even if I'm not doing anything. I just sit behind my computer, but most of the time I'm working anyway. It became a part of me. So sometimes I'm just sitting in the newsroom behind my computer doing nothing, maybe social media. So, and I knew Israel Live. I knew Israel had gone for this award. I knew Anil Sabute had gone for this award.
Yeah.
I was curious. I was curious. So I just went on the CNN website, started looking things up. At that time, I had already done most of these stories. Had done a couple of stories, gone out to the rural communities.
Sorry, I'll come back to it. When you were in GIJ, you did not have a specific area that you wanted to sort of specialize in terms of journalism. Now, do you know where you want to be?
Specializing. I think I like doing social stories.
Social stories?
Yes.
Okay, so now we go back.
And this thing, I have said it to a boss of mine before. She said, what do you want to do? And I said, I like to do a lot of social stories. And she laughed. And I didn't know why she laughed. I don't know whether she thought she was like, maybe she expected me to say something different. I don't know. But I think I like to follow a bit of politics sometimes. Yes, I like to follow a bit of politics. And that's why I bring my social storytelling in. So that we try to create a balance between the social lives of people, and politics, and whether it can make an impact really on the people. Yeah.
So we go back to how so you've gone through your computer, Anil Sabute has gone there, Israeli has won it, and
so I had these stories. We had done these stories earlier on. I told myself, why don't we just apply? We may win an award, we may not, but it's still good if we give it a try. So I sat down, I looked at the thing, I looked at their categories. I actually waited for it because I wanted to find out when it starts, and I was told it was going to start in April. April came, I looked at their website, I didn't see anything, so I kept watching their space, and then when it came out, I just applied with these stories. And these were stories. I had done two stories. One was called Adakura Mango Tideke.
Come again?
Adaku among Mutibike. It's the name of a village in the Volta region, somewhere close to Kweto. I did a profile of a town. They had a lot of persons who have dropped out of school, who are now pregnant, like girls who are pregnant, boys who don't want to go to school because they believe that if they go to school, they're going to pay school fees and the money will get finished. They have to come back and look for some money. So instead, let's start working. So they drop out.
You need to come to Edumasa to do a story because last year I had 0 teenage pregnancy.
Ah, wow.
0.
Because they're using condoms.
Well, they're smart.
Okay, we'll talk about that one.
So yeah, you did a story about this.
So yes, this town, I just profiled them, put everything that they do together. And then there was a story about the public toilet in perspective that I did. We just looked at one public toilet. We looked at one household, and there were about 60 persons who lived in that house.
60.
Yes, 60 persons. I personally counted them. It was a compound house, very small, but there were 60 people living there, and they didn't have a toilet. So they depend on the public toilets outside. So we looked at their story to tell a bigger story of how every day people depend on public toilets. And you know, before then, a toilet had killed, it had caved in, it killed one person, injured a lot of people. Just that, I mean, for me, was motivation enough. I think it was.
But you know, I'm so proud of you, right?
Thank you.
I am really proud of you because it's like, I find it very, that, you know, it's like our duty to maybe fight for people who don't have the voice. And I wouldn't have associated you to champion such a cause. You know, I would associate you with more talking about something which is already okay, rather than trying to find. Yeah. So I'm very proud of you.
Well, so this public toilet, the idea just fits me. We were in a group and we were thinking of ideas to work at something that is social, but that could also be political. So we thought, and then it just hit me, public toilet. I said, this idea, I don't know if these people will find it okay to talk about. And I said, okay, this is what I want to do. So I spelled it out to them. It was a bigger group. This is what I want to do. This, that I will do this public toilet thing like that. Okay. So they bought into the idea. We went. My cameraman Modestus, he's the head of camera at Multi TV, and then I had an editor called Eric Obalate. We worked the story out. We went to the public toilet. We had one of the camera guys, actually David McCarthy, who took us to one of the households. The difficulty then was to find a household who will be accommodating enough for us.
It's their privacy, isn't it?
Yes, you know. So then we went into one house and they said, we don't have a toilet. Like they just yeah, we don't have a toilet. I said, oh, okay, sorry. So we moved on. We went to another house, you know, they were like, oh, we have a proper toilet.
We don't fit in your profile.
Yeah. So we went to the next one. And the woman was so accommodating. At that time, we were preparing some heavy fufu and a bencoin. So we sat there, she took us through the cooking process, everything. She took us to their toilet, which was closed at the time, because they were using it, but there was so much pressure on it because there were lots of people in the house. Told us everything that we needed to know. We followed her to the toilet, just that we didn't follow her in the toilet. But we did go into the toilet. My cameraman, I think he did so well. We went into the toilet. It wasn't smelling really good.
No, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Even though I was doing while I was doing my stand-up was outside the toilet. Well, not outside, but like in the toilet, but not inside the toilet. And I had to go and change my shirt, you know.
Wow. Because it's amazing that you talk about this toilet, because I think the statistics is somewhere up north, there's only about 20% of people who have access. The rest literally have to free range it on a daily basis.
It bothers me mostly because it is, I think it's dehumanizing enough to have to contend with such a place for a place of convenience. But it is much more saddening when someone dies using it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things.
It's not right, is it?
It isn't. It's one of the things that actually moved me to do the story. When it just clicked, I said, okay, this thing had happened in Kaswa.
See, as soon as you reach the emotional point, the showers of blessing are coming to say that good job, and carry on with the good job. Yeah. So that's where that's the story you gave them.
Yes, that's the story. That's the story we told. And when I got called, I had a call from someone at CNN called me and said, "Are you Gifty and Claire?" I said, "Yes." She said, "My name is I'm calling from CNN International." I'm like,
Yes.
just say it. You know, like
Put me out of my misery.
when a guy is going to propose to you and you're like, just say it.
You know, I've been going out with you. It's been 6 years now.
And
You
they
met
take
my
like,
mother.
just drop it, you know. So I was just waiting for her to say it. Jesus, I was editing a story. I left the story. I rushed to the makeup room because there was so much noise at post-production. I went there and she said, "I'd like to congratulate you because your story has been nominated for the CNN." I'm like, who?
That alone was good enough, isn't it?
Oh, yes. She said a lot of things about how we are going to send you the program and how the program is going. I didn't hear any of that. I just said, and then I go like, "I'm sorry," and she said, "Okay, I'm saying," and I won't hear it. And then she ends and says, "Okay, so I'm gonna send you a mail." And I said, "A mail will be fantastic."
Yes.
Because then
Can
I'll
take my time to read it.
So that was it. I later on, like 2 days, I got the mail, and that day I rushed to the newsroom. It was empty. Well, the assignment editor was there, Martha Quenzel Akwa. Went in there, told her, whispered into her ear. This is we have a term we use in the newsroom. It's kind of fish. So I just smiled. Emily was sitting there. I told Emily, Miss Mo, our editor at the time, we still are managing news editor, and Emma Morrison was around. She wasn't around, so I sent her a text. She was so happy. We were all happy. And so from there, I started thinking of how to go to South Africa. Later on, I had to go to Namibia, and I still couldn't wait to go to South Africa. And all. So that was how it happened.
I mean, it's great. So we get to South Africa. We've got into the ceremony. We are all sat down. You know, by this time, I mean, if I were you, I would just be happy to come back, write on my complimentary card that CNN nominee. You know, you know, I'd just be happy to just put on my card to say that CNN nominee. And there are people sat around me, obviously, everybody waiting to be called. Were you content then, or did you want to say, no, once I'm here, I need to win it? Were you content?
Even if I wanted to? I couldn't be. You see, we work for a company that will, I don't know, they just keep pushing, you know? So I couldn't be. And besides that, I had a lot of comments on Facebook, on Twitter, people saying, like people just telling you you're coming home with the award.
Oh dear, you're thinking, what if I don't come with it?
So this thing keeps going. Everybody who heard it, and there was one elder in my church who had also heard about this thing. His name is Mr. Inkum. He had heard about it and quickly gone to tell the church, and the church was even more excited than I was. And it was part of the announcement, and everybody after the church, everybody came and said they wanted to introduce me in church. So I have this corner that I sit. I sing in church. So I was with people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all coming out.
I was in my singing group then in some corner. So when they mentioned my name, I just stood there, hid behind one of the pillars, and I sat down. So everybody said, I don't know how, but they saw me.
My favorite song. Ma Dianin. Na 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 na. So I give the tune.
Really?
Ma Dianin. Oh, help me out. That was beautiful. It's true. I believe you now. That was gorgeous.
Is it okay to acknowledge my choir? Not
Please,
church choir.
please.
We have a church choir.
Acknowledge
Not the
anyone.
Robe choir. Actually.
Anyone.
The robe choir, I don't join them. My singing group in the church is called the Evangel Singing Ministry, and then I'm with Harbour City Mass Choir.
Oh, okay.
The choir that I usually sing with New Kind. It's an international choir. We sang with Ron Kenoli. We sang with Alvin Slaughter when he came to Ghana.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And we do a lot of their doom praise.
I see. But how do you find time to sing and do toilet stories?
Toilet stories.
Well, not journalism. I exaggerate. Don't mind me.
It looks like my life is built around journalism right now.
Okay.
Yes, I do a lot of journalism, and my time mostly is spent at work. That's the unfortunate part.
Now
I
let's
get to go for rehearsals and all.
go back to. I'm sure they bring the envelope like the Oscar Awards, isn't it? They will come up with an envelope.
Yeah.
And in this category, the winner is.
We had gone for a rehearsal earlier, so they go for the rehearsal. They tell you how to turn the map. So the African map is actually. Have I turned it? I think it's supposed to be like this. Okay.
No, this way. This.
So they tell you how to.
Yeah, this
turn,
is face west, isn't
yeah,
it?
Okay. Yeah.
This is face west. Well, so if you're looking, this is west. And that's east.
They tell you how to turn the flag. You know, when you receive it, and the fact that you have to wait. So they give you some time to breathe. So they play the story, a bit of the story before you come and say thank you, blah blah blah. And they tell you that the CNN will tell you that we've been already thanked. All our sponsors have been thanked. So don't thank us. Don't thank us. We already received our rewards.
Okay.
So they tell us all the things that we need to do. So we go there. We are waiting. Everybody is seated and everybody is hot. Trust me. That day, all the people seated by me were hot. The guy
Television News Bulletin Award.
The guy on my
And the winner.
yes.
Gifty
so
Ando
I
Apia, but they won't say
something-
Gifty Ando Apia, right? They will say
I
something.
think this woman said it right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You say I'm pay or something.
Okay, there are two things. It's either she didn't say it right, but I didn't hear.
I see.
I had, well, the moment I had Gifty, I said I'm not here for myself.
Forget about the rest. I'm coming for it.
Oh, I knew I was the only Gifty there. So the moment I heard Gifty, yes, I think I didn't hear.
Okay.
The moment I heard, then the winner is Gifty. I'm like,
Ooh.
you know, it
So
was
did you have your speech already prepared, or
speech. I didn't have a speech.
you have an
I
idea
was
what to
thinking
say?
of what to say in the bathroom before we got there, and we were all getting late. And oh god.
I mean, you see, in the bathroom, there's nobody there, right? It's just you. So, I mean, would you look in the mirror and say,
Thank you
"Well, I
very
worked
much.
hard and I
like
won it."
to.
I mean,
See, one thing is that I don't like disappointment. I don't like disappointment, so I didn't want to come out with a grand speech and go there. Besides, they had told us already that you can do as long as 1 minute a speech if you want to. So I didn't want to come up with a grand, and then I go and there's nothing to share, and I'm like,
can you imagine you picked up your award and you go, "Nye, nye, 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 I won it." You know, I mean, maybe you've already won it. I worked hard and I won it. To all of you guys, go and work hard next
in our
time.
Ghanaian culture,
It will be
we don't
accepted.
do it like that. You know how.
So what did you? So what did you say? What did
So
you say?
I like, and I had this big dress, big gown. I lifted up my gown when I walked up the stage. I met this woman, and I had met her several times with her mother. So she gave me a hug, you know, a peg like that, and I almost forgot the protocol. Protocol was to put the flag down and wait for the story to roll before you start talking.
Down.
So yeah.
What if somebody takes it?
No, put it down on the
In front of you.
Just wait.
Yes, yeah. Well,
Look at you.
I said, don't worry, I'm
Yeah.
fine. You know, don't worry. I'll hold
you-
it. Skip the protocol.
They'll tell
I'm
you
fine.
It won't look good on camera. It won't look good on
Please, at this moment, it's no camera. I need to get back to Kokomemle and go and showcase my award.
So I put it down, and I wanted to get it well. So I put it down. I said, okay, it's good place. So I looked at the people. I just took a very long breath, like I was just about to, and then the story started playing. And I remembered.
I have to wait.
Okay. So they took a part of my stand-up, they played it, and then in my visuals, there are two little boys they're having pieces of newspapers, and they were actually in a queue, ready to go do their thing. The place was smelling, so they had covered their noses with the paper. So that was the visual they used. And then my protagonist walking away from the toilet. So they did that, and I just stood there and I said, there were some rather uncomfortable pictures, and I'm glad they didn't show it. And everybody was like, I was expecting them to smile or like get roll or laugh or something. Everybody knew that. I said, okay, just do your thing and go away. So I looked at the camera and I said, Thank you very much. First of all, I must say I'm most grateful to God. I'm most grateful to the team I worked with, Modestus. And at that time, trust me, I couldn't remember his surname. I said Modestus, my camera person, Eric, the editor. I said thank you to all of you guys, and I dedicated the award to all people, all the persons who have died ever using a public toilet.
Oh dear.
And then I said, I think the issue should be giving the much needed attention everywhere on the continent, because this matter, this public issue, the public toilet issue is not peculiar to Ghana. Wherever in Africa you find yourself using a public toilet. Well, I said, wait, let me put this in the context. I just said, I dedicate this to...
Don't worry, this is not CNN. There's no protocol. Take your time. This is my show. Yeah, there's no protocol.
There's no protocol. I'm breaking the protocol. You hear from multimedia. So I just said I dedicate this award to all the persons who have lost their lives using a public toilet. And I think this issue must be addressed much more comprehensively on the African continent, because the issue of public toilets is not peculiar to Ghana. And then I thank them all for their audience. I left. I met an old lady.
I was going to come there because all this, hunger for work and guilty of sitting idle comes from grandma, probably, every 5 minutes doing something which obviously you've cultivated, which is a good habit.
Yeah.
But, about the family. Let's talk about the family.
About the family.
But I'm a grandma fan, so let me hear more about grandma.
They say grandmothers are angels. And I saw this when I was little, and I didn't like the phrase, because my grandmother then was no angel.
Strict.
My grandmother was no angel. She was not, how she wakes us up at the
early in the morning.
You have to go to school. She wakes you up at dawn, and if you pretend that you're not hearing it, she'll sprinkle water on your face. And I thought that was cruel. So when I saw grandmothers are angels, I said,
yeah, right.
But after I have grown up, I began appreciating all the things that she did. Although I still have my disagreements with her.
Is she alive?
She is alive.
Thank God.
She's 70 plus.
Thank God.
She's always repeating the things she has said already, so I don't like conversing so much, because she says the things and she has already said it already. She keeps, so I just say, okay, like that. But I think she's a strong person. She's had a lot of, life has been tough for her, so she tried to. I think she wasn't happy with my mother. My mother had me and my brother in a particular context, and she wasn't so happy and everything. So she took us in, did everything. I spent. My brother was mostly in the boarding school, but I went to the boarding school, and then one of my teachers called my mother and said, I have a bright future, so I shouldn't be in that boarding school. I'm like, seriously.
What is she talking about?
Because I love the boarding school. It was away from grandma. It was too much work at home. But I left there. I came. We lived with her. She has been one of the closest persons in the family that I know. And my mother, my brother. I have a couple of aunties.
Older brother, younger brother?
Older brother, but not too old.
Not too old.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
it's not the ones that you can be a pain to.
Oh no.
Okay.
And I've actually almost always been like the boy. My brother kind of took after my mother. My mother is way back, soft. I think she's soft-hearted, too soft-hearted for my liking. My grandmother is like hard, and that's I like that. I like that, because we live in a world that's very.
It's no place for good people in this world, is it? You need to.
So I
fight
kind of like that, but I like my mother in her own world. She's a fantastic person in her own unique way. So those are the people that I've known.
Okay.
As family. A couple of aunties. I lived with a couple of them in Kaneshi. I lived with another in Atebio Koshi. Hopping from one auntie to the other. That's how my life has been basically. Right now I live with my uncle's wife and my brother. We try to live together as a big family, but I don't do a lot of family
things.
Family activities.
Well, you're always chasing a story here, isn't it? You're always chasing a story or two.
But
So
I try to stay in touch.
you see, now the expectation is high.
Yeah.
Now everybody's happy for you, and it's one award where I feel everybody sort of bought into it. I mean, I was following on Facebook and everything, and you could see the sincerity in people, not the usual congratulations, but people were genuinely happy that, yeah, go for it, you've worked for it.
I heard this morning, because this morning I heard on the AM show that some people say I don't deserve the award.
Oh, well, no, you see, even Jesus had haters. So if we all agree with you, then you need to question it.
That's it.
But so far as the majority go with it, that's fine. So what it then puts that, I don't know if it's pressure, but likely because it's your hobby is okay, but it means you have to come up with another story. Even if it doesn't win an award, at least another deserving story.
Well, I do a lot of stories. I try to do a lot of such stories that are people-centered. But you also know that I report from the Flagstaff House. I'm the presidential correspondent for World News. So it kind of...
That's how come you lost your boyfriend anyway.
Sorry.
All this Flagstaff House business and the big men and MPs and stuff. But we've gone
Did you really say that?
Well, I just did.
You're adding to the prejudice.
I just said that. That's why, the financial controller ran away because she's thinking, no, this guy, this chick, look at how beautiful you are. Go to the Flagstaff House and come back out. But you know what?
It's unfortunate that people think that way, but it doesn't work like that.
But you know what's important? Your age, your vision in life, your path that you've chosen.
We're going to talk about the story.
Yeah.
About coming up with another story.
Yeah, so coming up with another story.
Let me just say that I appreciate DWTV. They've been training us a lot of. They've been organizing a lot of training for us. And recently, we just went to Namibia. Was one of the. These are some of the trainings that really takes you deeper into journalism and how to tell people-centered story. So I must appreciate them for the training that they gave us. Coming up with another story. I was just saying this morning that we're scanning through the system, and there are lots of stories to tell. Trust me, there are lots of stories to tell. So although I have a schedule that's kind of takes all the time away, we surely find ways of doing the stories that matter to a lot of people.
But Emma is very supportive anyway.
She is.
Emma is very supportive, which is good for you, so that you got that support. Very painful to have a boss who says no, don't do this, don't do that, and then keeps you in your shell. So I'm sure you're going to come up with something bigger. But what I was leading to is that because of your age and the positive focus in life, it will inspire people who are also younger. Because normally a story like this would be told by one of the old guards. The story will be good, but then the youth may not connect. But here you are, all glamorous and everything, doing, a really human-centered story. So that the Facebookers and the Twitter guys out there will think, oh, life is not all about just our small corner, but we should reach out to.
Someone did say that the stories about politicians and all that don't really connect. The stories don't really connect. It is the stories that connect to the people. Those are the stories that win awards. Those are the stories that appeal to the people who sit on the bench to judge you. They judge the stories, and most of the things are at the discretion of the judge. They look at it and they think, okay, let's drop this. Okay, let's put this there. So let's look at telling stories. Well, for journalists out there, or anybody aspiring to be a journalist, let's look out for stories that matter to the people. And genuinely, the point is genuinely want to tell the story that tell the realities of the everyday people. Those are the stories that win awards. And if you follow this award ceremony, most of the things that the judges kept emphasizing was following a story, like take a story, take an idea, for instance, and follow it, deeper.
Have they built a toilet for the community now?
No, you see, Nima is a big place, and we did that story in Nima.
Okay.
It's a big place, and there are lots of public toilets. It's not something that you can just do one time. I think we may have to look at some form of governmental intervention, maybe. Although individuals.
Now you have the clout. That's what this is all about. Now you have the clout. Pick up the phone and say, Mr. Minister, do you know me? I am the award winner. and I am telling you that this area needs a loo. Now get up and go and do it.
No, I think the authorities do know. I think the authorities do know. Maybe we've just lined up other issues as priorities. I think, personally, that this is priority indeed. I mean, we can't just, unless we want to say that lives are not that precious anymore. But when we have lost lives because of this thing, and most of these public toilets are old, and that is the reason why they're breaking down and killing the people who use it.
Well,
But then again, there's a problem with the people who use the toilet as well. If you know that this is a toilet that the whole community depend on, why not keep it decent?
then let's all use it.
Exactly.
So
Just keep
we
it
should
clean
take some of the responsibility.
from the people.
Well, Gifty, before I round up, I want to do this. Well, ladies and gentlemen who have come here today on the CNN Awards, we'd like to say that the CNN Multi-Choice African Journalist 2013 Television News Bulletin Award, and the winner is Ms. Gifty Ando Apia of Joy News TV in Accra.
And I am so excited to receive this award on behalf of all my toilet crew.
Thank you very much. On that note, until next Friday that we come to you with a different personality. Thanks for watching, and Gifty, we're all proud of you. My name is Nana Ansakwao, the fourth. Have a good week.